The virtual reality industry is just now starting to take off with hardware devices that are becoming more accessible, and elements of the immersive experience are becoming more and more lifelike. But what's been missing this whole time is the sense of touch or haptics, and how do we make a haptic experience part of the virtual reality experience? Gilles, with Actronika, you've created the kinetic vest that's bringing haptics and the feeling of touch into the virtual reality arena. What are the elements of the technology you've built?
The idea was to take a part of haptics. Haptics is made out of three components: temperature, hot, cold, kinesthetic, the force, and then vibrotactile. When you do this, it's a continuum of stop and go motions that are due to the adherence of the keratin on your fingers. And actually, those micro vibrations are recognized by your brain.
Right.
By just taking vibrotactile, you cover 80% of the sense of touch. So essentially, you're taking a shortcut in some way. And this is what we took, and then we crafted those effects, because anything in life is an effect. You know, you touch, you caress. You know, we categorize them as vertical effects, and then we did a library that actually could match what you see with the haptic effect.
A library that game developers can use, the enterprise market can use for training, for quality control, military can use. I mean, haptics in a virtual reality setting, an immersive application, has applications everywhere. So what are you most excited about in terms of the early deployments for Actronika?
Gaming is an obvious thing, but there are things that are less obvious, like military training. A big thing, you know, special forces, police forces. You have, I don't know, 210 countries in the world. Each one of them have, you know, at various stages, a military operation, and they need that, and they have a police operation. And in order to train those people in a cost-effective manner, haptics and VR are paramount. And then there's training. Training, we're talking about enterprise, and training has an immediate ROI because you're essentially cutting cost when you're using VR. You're not using materials. You know, with this, we have that example where we have a paint gun, and the person actually is painting or showing their skills painting a car. And usually, they would do that with paint that drops. They know that they're wasting material and everything, and it costs a lot of money. Here, you have exactly the sensation that you would have with a paint gun, but you know, there's no waste.
There's over 200 different haptics experiences that you've built APIs for. What are the ones that are the, call it, most common uses that you're experiencing, that your customers are taking advantage of?
I'm going to go back into entertainment. You have, of course, the shooting games. So we have, I've never been shot, but essentially we have all sorts of different types of shots that you might feel. Then there is the natural instances like rain, wind. In the jungle, there's foliage coming onto you. There's knives that can be the wand, anything that actually is going to make an experience true. And these are carefully crafted effects by a specialist who used to be a sound engineer. Now he's a haptics engineer, because you always have to see that haptics is actually the continuum of your hearing into the lower frequencies.
So from a game developer's perspective, what is the cost needed to adapt this kinetic vest, and how are you envisioning going to market in the entertainment industry?
What we do is that we have a studio that essentially we sell in a SaaS vision. Essentially, it's per person per month. So people are able to adapt their game in a dynamic way to this kinetic vest. So essentially, you have that studio. In the studio, you have the topology of the vest. You can say, you know, for example, I'm actually, you know, shooting you here, and then this is the area that is actually gonna be.
Where I'll feel the impact.
You feel the impact. So you're able to define that on that studio, and it's very, very friendly. It's very easy to use, and you know, we're at the moment. We have a program to be able to get as many as possible game developers on board, And then we have also a value-added reseller strategy, which is essentially getting studios to use the vest for their own purposes, for marketing purposes.